another set of 10 poems in July, and that will be part of the Poets in the Schools. And Christopher and Toni are so wonderful to make this happen. So, if you want to find anything more out about Poetry Moves, the website poetrymoves.org will be up and running in the next week or two. But you can also find information about it on artsandparkcounty.org. And so now I'm going to hand off to Christopher and Toni to make this a wonderful day. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. That's Karen Madsen of Arts in Clark County. Want to thank her for helping to make this happen with C-Tran, and we've gotten just the best support from C-Tran. We're really happy about the whole thing. And we also want to thank Cameron Suttles, who is the designer of the channel card. Yeah. And we do have the cards here, so we'll show those to you in a bit. Toni and I have a small press called Printed Matter Vancouver. We're also writing coaches. We help people with manuscript review. We basically help Northwest writers with anything that they need help with. And we were the judges of the contest, so there were 8 winners, and then there was 1 poem each from Toni and myself. We're going to hear from the 8 winners. They're each going to read their poem that's on the bus, as well as 1 additional poem, and then we can really join the rest of this party that's going on around us. So our first reader, and I'm going to call them up basically alphabetically to give them a heads up. Our first reader will be Neil Aitken, so let's give Neil Aitken a hand.
Thank you. It's good to be here. So the first poem I'll read is the poem that's on the bus. It actually is only the last 2 lines of a longer poem, so you just get the end. Sometimes I dream of the ghost of a bird, its eyes dark like mine, asleep in the fold of a tree, its shadow the shape of a harp. This next poem was actually written when I was in Virginia for a writing event, but I'm going to change the word Virginia to Vancouver, and it will still work for this poem. It's titled Kundiman, which is a Filipino term for a song of an unrequited love or a love song, but also a song for one's country. And it's really about writers. Kundiman. This morning, the sun not yet piercing the gray Vancouver world, I wake already with longing for those I soon will leave, whose voices, raw and importuning, have peeled away my skin and laid open my chest with the finest of cuts. Here in the space enclosed by the white bones of my ribs, a heart beats with the wonder of so many tongues. No, it moves like a ship on this dark ocean of home and departure, each of us rowing beat after beat, page after page, haunted by words. Speak again of salt, lovers lost, of the body muted, of our fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, daughters, sons. You who knock at the wooden door of a guitar at midnight, you who let words carry your limbs and lips, you who rumble deep into sorrow or anger or unrequited joy. Tell me now, who will lift us when we are weary? Who will fill us with the dark beauty of song? What will we say tomorrow when we rise to take our next train, next bus, next taxi or plane, when we return to the cities we have loved or despised for so long? What will we say to the open door, to the room full of now?
Let's hear it again for Neil Aitken. This is really exciting. I love the hustle and bustle. 2 weeks before Christmas, people are out doing their shopping. And hopefully they're stopping here for a bite or a coffee or some soda and taking a minute to listen to some poetry. It's an exciting day, and I'm happy to be here. And I have to thank Arts of Clark County and C-Tran for making this happen. It's been a dream of ours to have poems on the buses, and now we do. Yay. Our next reader happens to also be a videographer and a photographer who's been documenting the Ghost Town Open Mic series for a couple of years now. She's here to read her poem, Tiffany Burba-Schramm of Vancouver.
Thank you. So the first poem I'm going to read is called Everything Settles. The frost settles upon the ground, snow settles upon the limbs of trees, the ceilings in my house settle, create small cracks. The floors creak and settle, the weight of dogs approaching. We settle, let the weight of the world crack our ambitions. We let others' harsh words and criticisms drape us like cold winter fog. And this next poem is called Visions of the Future, and I actually wrote this one 2 weeks before my granddaughter was born, and she's right over there. So this is for Sophia. I wake to the sound of Sophia talking. She doesn't form words yet, but her sounds are songs played to my heart. She is happy, growing and thriving in her mother's care. My home is filled to the top with love and baby stuff. Love rushes out the door, nurtures the sunflowers that grow in the garden. Sophia will play here one day. She will help me plant the seeds, water and care for them. She will learn that we have a connection to the sunflower. It is who we are. The sunflower represents strength, generosity, giving, beauty, and love. Sunflowers hold within them all that is needed to flourish in life. Love for the earth, the sun, the rain, the orange moon of August that illuminates the flower petals at the darkest of night. Sophia, you are a sunflower because your mother is. I am, and your great-grandmother was. We are strong, love until our last breath, and nurture and care for those of us around us. Even the weeds need the love and support from us. Even the weeds can grow with our love and compassion. It will not be easy for you. The burden is large. But your mother is here to guide you. I am here to show you the beauty that resides within you, teach you how to nurture the weeds. You will be the most beautiful sunflower of us all, for you hold the spirit of the mighty sunflowers that were born before you. Never be afraid of your strength, compassion, and your ability to see the good in others. It is within your eyes that others see the beauty within themselves. This is your gift to the world. Share it, care for it, so when you have a daughter, you can teach her the ways of the sunflower. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. I was just thinking about how cool it is that we have poetry in frozen yogurt. It doesn't happen every day. And I would like to paraphrase ODB at this moment and say that poetry is for the children. I was watching Sophia during that whole thing. There's a ton of grown people here who have no idea that this is happening. She was locked in, waving, enjoying herself. So I hope that those of you that are with us, thank you for being with us right now. And next we are going to hear from, our next winner is Diane Cammer. Welcome, Diane, please.
We could fly, yet we stand, feet bound to ground, arms spread wide, wings in another world, another time, waiting for the wind, an updraft, when all that's required is a single bold step into the unknown. Since there's a lot of kids out there, I thought I'd read one of my kids' poems. So this one's called Bugaboo. Something crawls beneath my bed. Something hangs above my head. 600 legs, 10,000 eyes, wings spread wide wherever it flies. Moldy toes, a hairy back, a snout of gray, teeth crusty black. Scurry, scampered across my floor, quickly, quietly out the door. I called my mom, tried not to yell. This is the tale she had to tell. It's only just a bugaboo, awake at night with nothing to do. It licks its nose, it combs its ears, and when it's hurt, it cries real tears. Bugaboo comes, I call it, you see. It dusts the shelves, it cleans for free. It picks up toys you left behind beneath the fridge and hard to find. But if you want, I'll make it go. Watch it turn white and melt like snow. I thought about my missing shoe, a book I'd lost, almost brand new, and both things found just yesterday. Beside my bed, I had to say, no, we should keep the bugaboo and feed it treats, a crumb or two. Build it a nest outside the door, a place to go after a chore. We'd make it laugh or make it drool. A pet like that would be so cool. I'll sure sleep tight the whole night through with my new friend, the bugaboo. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. And our next reader today, first let me ask, how many of you out there like baseball? Oh, I see a lot of hands. This poem is great because it has so many images that we've seen over the years. You'll be able to relate to it. It names places, it names people, and I just love the feeling of this poem. Would you help me welcome Sherri Hoffman, Vancouver, Washington, with her poem Pilgrimage, 1988.
Thanks for having me here. This is great. So first I'm going to read, I have a poem out in a similar program this month, and instead of being on a bus, that's on a coffee cup. So I have two poems out, coffee cup, bus. So I'm going to read the coffee cup poem first. It's called Once Are Summers. Tadpoles in the swamp, stolen cigarettes, baseball, and the horses across the way with lips like tulip petals. That time, the piebald mare rolled a white eye at Ranger, our spaniel, grabbed him with her square teeth and tossed him over the rail. Tamped her foot. Out of here, dog. The herd spun from the fence like a flock of birds, turns in the sky as if by some covert signal. Wind and sun on their flanks, bucking across the pasture, ass and tails, farts bouncing out of the piebald as if it was all a big rehearsed joke. Okay, now this is my bus poem about baseball called Pilgrimage, 1988. Start at Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine, the most perfect field. Onward to Candlestick, Wrigley, Three Rivers, Shea, until Cooperstown, holiest of holies. Blessed with field grit rubbed into our salted skins, we say the sacred names: Colfax, Drysdale, Marischal, Campanella from the Brooklyn years, Jackie Robinson, born the same day as our Grandma Wildish, and Pee Wee Reese, who kept the faith, refusing to sign the petition to ban Robinson for being black. The game transcendent.
Thank you, Sherri. That was great. For those of you out there, I want you to know that for the poets, this is kind of like reading inside a jet engine. So I just wanted to get an idea of who is with us out there. If you are listening and into what's happening with Poetry Moves, just let's give them a round of applause so I know who's with us right now. All right, okay. And if you're wondering why everyone is clapping, move a little bit closer and enjoy some poetry with us. So our next poet on the bus that we're going to welcome is Erin Iwata. Give her a warm welcome, everybody.
The poem on the bus was a short poem that was just a little longer, an excerpt that was just a little longer so you get the whole thing. It's called Hours. We've all dashed so far from where we started, I hardly remember. Youthful farsightedness is easily lost on the duties that fill our fingers. The clouds that clot our sight do not mean we live in a fog. The white-black that consumes our plodding phases is not our eternity. I have to believe that something of 17 still lingers. Although she pains me with her adolescent optimism, I return, hoping she wasn't wrong, that there is beauty in the stacked stones along the path, that there is a path indeed, mountains to be scaled and conquered, that the world is still ours. The second one is called 32nd Birthday. 31 was bundled black wool, Tokyo punctuated with red scarves, our chilled breaths searching for a worthy meal among neat, cigaretted businessmen, our bright, shabby clothes still smelling of spice. 30 was winding cobbled streets, sexuality seething from flamenco voices, hot fish swimming in oil, fluorescent memories recalled between sips of warm wine among the tiniest Bethlehem. 19 was 100 dark-headed strangers in a concrete room, crooked-toothed officer questioning me before they all sang over steaming rice. The script they wrote me still hangs, a banner in my safe living room. 32, caught between anchored consistency and burning limerence. The familiar tree marking the same old path, branches ripped away by the gale, the pine tree that shaded childhood games, the only casualty, exposing shallow roots that clung to ancient tiles from times forgotten. Already her absence is not noticed, only the sky view that her downfall provided.
Was written by Tim Klein, and Tim is traveling, not able to be with us today, so Christopher Luna will be reading Tim's poem. Chris?
You know, judging contests is not necessarily an easy thing to do, but it's a fun thing to do, and Tim would be among those people that, who we chose his poem, and I haven't yet met Tim, so I'm looking forward to meeting Tim, and I'm proud to read his poem for him. And I will hold it up as I read it to you. It's called Counterpart. At this very moment, someone, somewhere, is doing the very same thing you were doing for the very same reason. That's Tim Klein. Thank you.
Our next reader has written a poem by the name of Journey. Let me introduce Jennifer Pratt-Walter of Vancouver, Washington.
I'm so happy to be here. This poem talks about the magic that draws us to certain places, portrayed by the salmon in this poem, Journey. We are the tide's twin, swimming with the faithful senses of salmon. We smell fresh river from out of the salt. We are drawn home under moon watch for as long as the journey takes. So that's my bus poem. And this poem I wrote for those who maybe sometimes feel troubled about how we are. It's called The Right Colors. When you are ready or in need, bring me all your pieces, even the jagged ones, even the ugly ones, all askew, the undressed knife edges. Give me the growl of your lion, and I will return with a harp and a lark. Place your chipped voice, the dusky, unmusical hymns, your moonstone tears here in my cupped hands. I will give you some of my own, that we might sing all the right colors to heal each other's shards. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Finally, the last of our 8 winners is Karen Reed. Please say hello to Karen.
Thank you. Hello. Can you hear me in the back? Kidding. So I have a poem about the mall that I could not resist reading today. It's called Washington Square. These are not the kind of women who smell like magazine perfume or drum the high clickety-clack of unforgiving shoes on hard surfaces. These are the seasoned, the worldly natural, the deep, and the precise. Beckoned still by the rush of sale racks, fluttering hang tags, and display case continents. Drawn and redrawn, retried, reimagined, reinstated through the course of a day, together from lunchtime until all the stores have closed. Thank you. And here's my bus poem. It's called The Fourth Plane. A home for hundreds walking, yet to name the dreams that rise before they dare to speak. Colorful signs that fly above, untamed, wave low and high, press forward, reach and peak. So often you'll find only what you seek. Your power lines of old are not here sown. They surge beneath this skin of place unknown. Thank you, and thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Karen. And let's hear it again one more time for all of our winners for the Poetry News contest. And I think it's okay to announce that what is going to happen is these poems will be on the bus through at least June, and we're going to be going back into the schools because I helped to begin a Poets in the Schools program here in Clark County, and we will be finding poetry from students throughout Clark County that will go onto the buses beginning in July. So we're very happy about that there'll be a second phase of this project, and we appreciate all of the support that we've gotten from C-Tran and from the city on this. And next I want to introduce my wife and my partner in Truth and Beauty. She's one of those people who does a lot of stuff behind the scenes and is maybe not so comfortable about the accolades, but I love her and she's amazing, and so please say hello to Toni Partington.
What am I going to do with him? We were really excited about this and really honored that we were asked to submit some work to go up on the buses. And so we each have a poem. We're going to read those for you this afternoon. The poem of mine that is going on the bus is called Honeycomb Prophecy for Chris. In the residence of your heart, I wish to be a cubicle made of beeswax, translucent, unfiltered, bright with buzz. Together we will construct a confluence of resin and lace, a suspension bridge across hedge thorns and conflict. And this poem is a poem about a bus observation. We have lots of bus riders all over this region of the Pacific Northwest. And this is a snapshot of one of them. It's called Again. Tuesday, 3:15, C-Tran, Vancouver, Washington. She trips on the curb, catches book and baby. Slow down, she chants, hopes to hear herself above the traffic and through her tears. 3/4 left in her coat pocket. She nods to the driver, the bus pass between her teeth, nowhere to sit. Again. The couple sharing headphones shifts in their seats. People stare, take too long to respond. They don't care, she thinks. So she turns her back. Again. Holds the baby close, counts the blocks to her stop. She's queasy, a combination of bus fumes, lack of sleep, and peanuts for lunch. She rushed to pick up the babe before the tips were divided. No cash. Again. 3 more blocks. She raises her arm and yells, "Can you pull the wire?" she asks. "Anyone, please." The bus stops. Into the street, she juggles book bag and squirming bundle. A half block more, up 2 flights, out of breath. Inside, she slides down the door, onto the floor, puts the babe to her breast. We made it, honey. Again. And I would like to introduce with our last poem this afternoon, our Poet Laureate for Clark County, Christopher Luna.
I wanted to kiss her. Maybe she'll let me do that later. Before I read to you, there's a couple of people that we didn't thank yet that I would like to thank. One is Lamar, which is a group that helps with advertising for C-Tran. They were a big help. Melissa York, I believe is the name of the person there. And also the Community Foundation helped us to get some of the money to print the channel cards. Is that correct? Yes. And so I want to thank them. And there's at least one person from the Community Foundation here today. Also want to thank all of the volunteers who helped us out with these balloons. So when this wraps up, please make sure that you take a balloon with you to remember this amazing day in this amazing space. And it's really kind of tripping me out that I can watch these children flying around while I'm talking to you. So one of the things that I did here in Clark County was I rode the buses for almost 10 years, writing about what I saw, and I have this sort of larger project of working with found materials, including overheard conversation. And what I really wanted to do with the poems about the buses was to try to behave as a camera and try to take snapshots of the people. I kept commentary out of it unless something happened where I absolutely couldn't help myself, and really just tried to restore the dignity to these folks on the bus by presenting them in as realistic a way as I felt like I could. And the challenge of that is that it would happen in a moment. It would happen very quickly. So what I'm going to do is read you a selection of some of that material, and then I'm going to finish up with the piece that's on the buses, which is also one of those poems that I wrote while riding the buses here in Vancouver. So the way that I organized these was by the bus line and the date, so you'll hear that before each piece. Number 37, 6/12/07. I cannot keep a secret. I miss my home, the ocean smell. Anyway, I just miss the water. I miss the whole water. 37 Mill Plain, eastbound, December 6, 2007. She's got schizophrenia really bad. Makes her hard to live with. She has trouble keeping a relationship together. There's some rich people who do really sick things. I used to be for CPS, but there's just as much heartbreak they cause. I had a fight with my mother, and since the last time I went, everybody's had a problem with their mother but me. But there's one there, I like her hat. This is back to me now. A woman I've seen before, the woman with haunted eyes, is weeping. She desperately wants her daughter back. The foster parent is a 25-year-old with 5 other kids. The woman with haunted eyes tells her friend that her daughter does not have a winter coat. As they commiserate, other passengers join in, sharing their own stories about CPS. Another mom warns the woman with haunted eyes that once CPS takes your kids, you can't get them back. I have seen this woman before. This morning, I finally understand the look in her eyes. 32 to Harney Elementary, 9/17/08. You know God's hand is in it when it all rolls out like that. 4th Plain downtown, 11/21/08. America is on the bus. Where is the bailout for the people on the bus? Who will absolve them of their debts? I hear one of them comment, it's not enough to be rich. December 2008, waiting for the 37th. Overjoyed at the sight of a beautiful black woman in bell-bottoms embroidered with flowers, cornrows hanging out from beneath red, gold, black, and green tam, getting down under the bus shelter at Broadway and Mill Plain. Her girlfriend gets off the bus, short, butch haircut, looking surly, but it's a put-on. The goddess dances up close, nuzzling, their lips barely touching, aware yet unbothered that I'm watching the whole thing. Such a bold and cheerful expression of love makes my day, fills me up, excites me, gives me hope. Outside McDonald's, waiting on the 4, 5609. Stoic in white hoodies, sporting gold fronts, got a long day ahead. Just did 30 days and now they got him running around. Must complete 8 applications by 5 today. It's all right. Found 5 just between Grand and Fort Vancouver Way. Came here from Micronesia 5 years ago. Hasn't done much since. Fell in with the wrong crowd. His homies doing 3 years tell him 30 days is nothing. Just think of us, they say. I have a little bit more, but I want to stop for a moment and kind of put it in context for you. One of the things that happens with C-Tran is some of the people on C-Tran are people that are forgotten, or that some people would like to forget, people that some people in the community don't want to deal with. So part of the project is getting them to pay attention again to some of these people. 30 westbound, 12910. Retired in 2 years. I was in the pipe fitters union for 25 years. I go in for surgery on February 11th. I fractured my spine. Where I live, I fractured my spine. Number 32 eastbound, March 1, 2010. Weather is a heavy thing, Carrie. It's a burden. Number 32 westbound, wheelchair-bound, mustachioed, middle-aged African-American gentleman in a leather Seattle Supersonics jacket and a gray baseball cap lifts his right stump, jeans folded and held together with a rubber band to cross his legs. 32 westbound, 7/22/10. Mother, just a girl herself, dozes next to little one and rubs her pregnant belly, protectively, already stepping up, young yet proficient, most important job in the world. 32 westbound, 12711. In the morning fog, the world recedes. Bills, jealous boyfriends, shootings, despair, worry, erased by smoky fingers that creep in to envelop all but the vaguest outline of houses, hillsides and trees, rendering the landscape silent, magical, serene, inherently manageable. So I'm going to finish with the one that is actually on the buses. Now, one of the things I want to say to you about C-Tran and all of this is that what we expected, or what we thought was going to happen, was that all of these poems were going to go on the buses starting in January, and they're actually up already. People have already been taking photographs and sending them, sharing them online. So hop on the bus after this event and take a ride, and please do send us any photos that you take. So this is the last thing I'll do, and this is my poem that is on the buses now. And it's from that same series, which is called Ghost Town, USA. The dirt beneath Bonita's fingernails did not discourage him. She was reading a bilingual edition of Dante's Inferno on the 37, and that was more than enough. Thank you. So, what do we do now? I guess we party now. Is there anyone else that needs to come up? Karen, do you want to come up and say something? Yeah, here's Karen Madsen, and she's the person that really made this happen.
Everyone for coming out, and make sure anyone who wants a balloon, the balloons are going to be until the tank is empty, so go get one and go on to the bus and share the bus ride with poetry. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much. And of course, we'll be around if you want to talk about the program or ask questions, and all the poets are still here. Congratulate them and just sharing this joy that we have of having these poems on the buses is a great thing for Vancouver and Clark County. Thanks so much.